Hello, I am Rebekah Taylor. I am an intern with Reformed University Fellowship at the University of Arizona, and I'd like to take some time to talk about what I do, how COVID is impacting us, and how God is still at work through all of that. I work for RUF, or Reformed University Fellowship. RUF is a Christian campus ministry. There are I believe over 170 different RUF chapters around the world now, and 41 states in the United States have at least one RUF chapter in it. I got involved in RUF when I was an undergraduate student at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and then I decided upon graduation to become an RUF intern. And so I was placed at the University of Arizona in Tucson, Arizona. We are currently the only RUF chapter in the state of Arizona, which is super exciting. What do I do as an RUF intern? I meet with students, and I meet with students in small groups. Maybe a small group of us decide to go on one of the local hiking trails or visit Saguaro National Park. Perhaps we decide to go outside to the local farmers market and look at some of the crafts on sale. I also meet with students one-on-one, and that's just a great time for me to be able to sit down with a student, really get to know that student, for the student to be known, and to talk about whatever they want to talk about or whatever's on their mind. In addition, I also help to coordinate events. In a normal semester, I'd be helping to set up for more trips. Of course, it's not really happening quite as much now. But then we also have virtual events. So we have done virtual game nights where we're able to play games through Zoom, as well as other fun virtual events like a virtual Christmas party and something like that. I might be grabbing supplies for that, inviting students to that, coordinating with students to help them lead and set up the event, those sorts of things. In addition, RUF is also dedicated to seeing its interns grow in grace and be equipped for ministry. And so what that looks like for me is, in addition to doing ministry, I'm meeting with students, talking about the gospel. I'm also doing a study program that RUF creates for all of its interns, and that's really to help equip me, both for my job and also just for life. In addition, I meet regularly with Dan Smith, our campus minister, as well as Brittany Smith, who is on staff, and that's also a great place for me to grow in my faith, ask questions, and get guidance. So how has COVID impacted our ministry, especially since we were a college ministry and COVID has impacted the universities? So many of the universities are fully online, and that means their RUFs are fully virtual. We are extremely blessed that being at the University of Arizona and being in Tucson, Arizona, we are able to meet in person, although of course that looks very different than what it normally would. We can't, of course, have large groups together, but we are able to meet one-on-one with students and in small groups in person. The nice thing about being in the middle of the Sonoran Desert is the weather's pretty consistent. It's pretty dry all the time, and so we're able to consistently meet outside without fear of the rain canceling our events. RUF typically tries to meet students where they're at, which is on campus, but we can't really do that now. But we are able to meet off campus, outdoors, in the backyard of either a campus minister or some folks from one of the local churches. That way we're able to be outdoors and distanced. We're able to follow all of the university and municipal guidelines put out by the University of Arizona and Tucson to make sure that we are being as safe as possible. In addition, we also offer virtual versions of many of the things we do. So in addition to having in-person small Bible studies, we also have virtual ones. That way students are able to choose and do whatever they feel is the best decision for them to make. Of course, some of the COVID impacts are things that don't just specifically impact the university, but everybody. I would say that everybody is dealing with greater level of loneliness and isolation. And so I feel very blessed to be able to work with RUF and try to reach and help students in their loneliness and isolation. For some of the freshmen coming to campus, this is an extremely jarring experience. Many of them are moving to a new city, to a new campus, which is huge. They're moving into their dorm room or their apartment, but then all their classes are fully online. And so they don't know anybody. Perhaps they, of course, get to know their roommate if they have one. But otherwise, it's an extremely isolating experience. There aren't any welcome back events, so they're not able to meet other students. They can't meet students in person in their classes. And so for some of our students, RUF is one of the few times in the week when they can actually talk and be with other students. And so while that's an extremely difficult and unfortunate thing, I'm very glad that we are able to be there and to help them in this extremely odd and crazy time. But how is God at work in all of this craziness? Well, our Bible studies have been extremely fruitful. We have a lovely women's Bible study that's led by Brittany Smith, the campus staff, that I attend weekly as well. And in this Bible study, this past semester, we went through the book of Philippians, and that was a really great time for the girls to get to know each other, but also to ask questions about the book of Philippians and other questions that they have about salvation, about God, about sanctification and grace. Questions that perhaps they've had for a while, but didn't necessarily have a space to ask them. And so that's been extremely fruitful, seeing the group really knit together as a community and not just as individual students, but also to see them growing more confident in asking questions, growing more secure in their faith. In addition, one of our students was baptized this past semester, which was a huge cause for celebration. And several of our other students joined the local congregation. So we're super excited to see that some of our students are becoming involved in the local church rather than just staying on campus. And that's been an awesome thing to be a part of. I'd like to give a word of thanks to everybody who's been praying for me and supporting me in other ways. I have definitely felt those prayers throughout the semester, and I really appreciate you and your steadfast support and care. I still do have some continued need. I can't do this job without your support. I can't do it alone. I'm in need of more people to partner with me in the work of Arizona RUF. So I am always looking for more prayer partners to pray for me, pray for the students, pray for the other staff. In addition, I am about $2,000 short of being fully supported for my first year. Praise God and His generosity for providing this much for me. But I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to consider partnering with me in the work of Arizona RUF. I would love to talk to you all about my work and answer any questions that you have. In addition, I'd love to add you all to my emailing list that I send out typically bi-monthly, that give updates and new prayer requests as they come up during the semester. I'll make sure to forward that information to your church and pastor so that can get to you. But I would love to call with you, talk with you on the phone or Zoom call to answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much and have a great day.